When 3i Atlas was first announced, one of the gifts from a big telescope gave me some clues. My inquisitiveness already sparked when I had played around with one of the first public shots, uploading it to my photo editing software. That was the first short video I published here. See the link below. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to just introduce myself. My name is a pseudonym specifically for this YouTube channel, and I've given myself the name of Azure Fairy, which is the name of a flower, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. If you think others could benefit from my discoveries, please consider showing appreciation with a like and a share. Then subscribe if you wish to be notified of more content. So, I shall continue. We, the public, were told that what we were looking at was 3 frames knitted together with a 15-hour time frame for each image. So what you see is an interesting looking movement of a ball of light with a tail that pointed toward the sun. I took 2 random screenshots of the GIF and proceeded to verify for myself what lay beyond that little glow. You must understand that I had no experience at the time at what I was about to, nor had I even a clue of what I was about to embark on or discover. I was naive, to say the least, and, well, just as well. I uploaded the screenshots into a basic photo editing software and proceeded to see if there was anything more to this strange looking ball that appeared to bolt across the sky. I knew it was traveling super fast because the scientists had confirmed this, and by the different frames I could see that it was also changing shape. My software produced 2 very different looking images out of the same ball of light. And what I had no clue about then was how and why scientists don't bother with physical images of these objects unless it's for fine art, astrophotography, various forms of reference, and the application of certain filters applied to make sense of gaseous structures. So I was still to learn about image compression defects, atmosphere and light rays hitting the lens artifacts, and other distortions that can bring to life an imagination influenced by science fiction. However, given this, something worth looking at did emerge, and given that it was one static point in the frame of a moving image, the fact that 2 different looking objects appeared from the same ball of light had significance to me, enough to spur my imagination and, well, a curiosity to continue. However, what intrigued me was what the objects reminded me of, knowing well that I had no other clue as to what they were. So here are the 2 shots. 2 of the first significant images that I got of 3i Atlas. It was from these that I began my research and sharpening up my digital forensic analysis skills. Using a combination of settings in the software, I was able to make something from the glowing ball I used. I used this technique in different combinations on the same image over and over again in the coming months, and each time I became more adept at seeing more into it, so that by today I don't see in the same way that I saw then. I don't see the same thing. I'm seeing much more detail. This itself is key to garnering something about this object that science has yet to see. We know from explorations into the mechanics of consciousness that with a soft gaze and a quiet mind, a visual field of experience can emerge and reveal itself, a field that is right in front of us, but largely overlooked. Everything we see is made from the same energy that is continuously vibrating into different shapes. If you were to enter such a field with a blueprint in mind, in this example, the physical shape of 3i Atlas, It is possible to mentally overlay the information you see onto the blueprint, and over time see whether the changing overlays coincide with the shape of the blueprint. In that way, you see the blueprint within the field. In the same manner, if you were to look into a visual field with a star map and apply the same approach, but without a blueprint in mind, the possibility is there to become acquainted with a repetition of patterns that would suggest the formation of something in that field. As this thing is observed, the observation imparts a sense of reality to it. This was how I saw 3i Atlas the first time. This was the process that was available to me, a process I was already familiar with, and one that I had been readily applying in the construction of abstract paintings, a genre of painting I had experimented with for the last 16 years. The unknown makes itself known through acquired observation. Emerging patterns are intuitively mapped out and overlaid. The software took care of the overlays, and my intuition was used to make adjustments to tones, contrasts, and focus. The outcome was a consistent imagery separate from image compression distortions and other affiliated phenomena that render the majority of space photography dodgy. It may have been for this reason that a well-known YouTuber and astrophotographer discarded his first sighting of the object at the end of July 2025. His shot was a very faint ball of light with an orange-red hue to it, too far to bring into focus. I had applied my forensic process to a screenshot of it and peered into the fuzzy abyss. Without any point to reference, my brain could not see anything apart from the yellowish-red haze that to me already suggested a vibration of sorts taking place. At least the color had become more of something, but I knew that meant nothing in the world of compression defects. I peered and peered into it, but to no avail. Eventually, what looked like a few geometrically placed lines started to appear. I had been tweaking the contrast, converting it to black and white, playing with the focus, and so on. Eventually, something did emerge, and I decided to make a few sketches of the shapes I was looking at. After numerous sketching attempts with no substantial results, I left it for a day or two. And during that time, I got myself some education from scientists in the know. When I came back to my sketches and revisited the digital analysis, that was when the image began to pop. The scientific discoveries had provided a framework on which to approach the image. Not long afterward, the first blueprint of 3i Atlas popped, and here it is. Once I had this blueprint, the world of 3i Atlas began to make sense. The object was gathering more anomalies too, and scientists who cared were becoming more baffled, while those that did not care downplayed any other possibility outside the physics of comet. I think that is normal, because fast forward 10 months to this day, Professor Avi Loeb and company are making headway with 3i Atlas. They have an inkling, as do I, that this object has more to it. And I would go so far as to say that it probably is better like this, because too many scientists, all trying to get the Nobel Peace Prize for deciphering 3i Atlas, would have had its own fair share of headache for the community. There will always be those who discover and see, those who see, then discover, those who sit on the fence and imagine they discovered, and those who cannot discover nor see. Something like that anyway. The world is full of amazing things.